Okay, let's be honest. We've all been there, right? You know you need to get a handle on your money, but just the thought of starting is so overwhelming, you just don't. Well, today, we're going to dig into that powerful force that keeps us stuck, and I'm going to show you a simple 2-minute trick to finally break free. So let's just get right to it. Why is starting a budget so dang hard? I mean, you know you should be doing it. You've probably got the apps on your phone, maybe you've even bought a book or two, but taking that very first step, man, it can feel like trying to move a mountain, right? It's a feeling almost everyone has, but the reason why is actually surprisingly simple. And yeah, this quote it hits the nail on the head. Look, the problem isn't that you're bad at math. It's not that you don't understand finance. It has absolutely nothing to do with how complex it all seems. The single biggest thing standing in your way, it's simply getting started. So let's talk about that feeling, that roadblock. That feeling of being completely stuck, where you can't seem to start even when you really want to. Well, it turns out that's not just some vague feeling of procrastination. It's a real, actual force. And believe it or not, it has a name that we can borrow straight from a physics textbook. And that force is called financial inertia. Now, this isn't just a fancy way of saying you're lazy, not at all. It's that psychological weight, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, maybe even a little bit scared of what you might find if you actually look at your spending. It's that super powerful natural tendency for things to just stay the way they are. Your money habits, or your lack of them, are just going to keep rolling on autopilot. But here's the good news. Just like any force, this one can be beaten. So, okay, the physics of procrastination. How on earth can a rule from a science class explain what's going on with your bank account? Well, it turns out one of the most basic laws of physics is the perfect metaphor for why we do nothing with our money. Let's really break this down. All right, I'm sure you remember this one from high school science, right? Inertia. An object at rest stays at rest unless something acts on it. Think about it. A soccer ball is just going to sit on the field until someone comes along and kicks it. Well, right now, your finances are that soccer ball. They're just sitting there totally untracked, completely unmanaged, and they're going to stay that way unless you are the force that gets them moving. And check this out. Look how perfectly this whole analogy lines up. Your untracked spending, that's your object at rest. The external force that we need to get things going, that, my friends, is the 2-minute rule. And the whole point, the whole goal, is to use that one tiny initial push to create some real, lasting financial momentum. Okay, so what is this magical external force? What's the secret? It's not some super complicated 20-tab spreadsheet or a fancy budgeting system. Nope. It is a tiny, almost ridiculously simple hack that's designed to do just one thing and one thing only: break that financial inertia. Yep, 120 seconds. That is literally all it takes. The entire idea here is built around making a commitment that is so ridiculously small, your brain can't even come up with a good excuse to say no. I mean, nobody's too busy for 2 minutes, right? That incredibly low barrier to entry, that is the absolute key to smashing through that initial resistance. And here it is, in all its beautiful simplicity. This is how you do it. Step 1, I just want you to pick one single expense from your day. It could be your morning coffee, a bus ticket, that thing you just bought online, literally anything. Now, step 2, open a notebook or the notes app on your phone and just write it down. That's it. That's the whole thing. You're done. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Wait, that's it? I tracked one coffee? What good is that possibly going to do? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. But the magic here, the real secret sauce, isn't about that one piece of data you collected on day one. It's all about the momentum that tiny action starts to create. Listen, we are not trying to create the world's most perfect, detailed budget on the first day. That's not the point. The only goal right now is to break inertia, to give it that first little kick. Because by tracking just one thing, guess what? You've started moving. You've applied the force. And tomorrow, doing it again is going to feel just a tiny bit easier. And the day after that, even easier. That right there is how you build real momentum and turn it into a habit that actually sticks. The physics doesn't lie. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. And all it takes is that first tiny little push to go from standing perfectly still to building some seriously unstoppable financial momentum. So really, there's only one question left to ask. What's the one expense you're going to take 2 minutes to track right now, today?